Hey guys, it's Desiree, as you know, because this is my channel where I discuss things with you. Wow, I hated that. Okay, I'm gonna try to I don't know if that's cute, but we gotta grind it out and get a vid up. Oh my god, I have to stop talking. I'm really making myself cringe. Basically, today's video, as you saw, is a book recommendation / review. I love to read. I've loved to read my entire life. It's a big part of my life, but I don't really share it on here that often because for some reason I thought in my mind, I was like, nobody wants to watch that. But then I found myself watching book reviews and such on YouTube. I love to talk about books. I love to read books. I love discussing books. Like, I could be part of a book club. I could see myself doing that, okay? So I'm going to talk about something I like. So it's a mixture of multiple different genres. It's not anything specific or anything. So we're just going to hop right in. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books to recommend to you guys right now. And yeah, let's just do it. Let's flip. I'm going to stop. I was really trying to think of something funny. But let's just go. First book is The Pact by Jodi Picoult. This book is fantastic. Actually, let's try to get like a little... This book is so good. It is different than anything I've ever read. It's it says a love story on it, but it is so not your typical love story. It's just so interesting and just amazing. I really like it. Essentially, this book is about two teenagers, two childhood best friends, and then in their teens, they end up dating one another. Who saw that coming? Most people, I would assume. So they end up in love. And then a tragedy strikes, the girl commits suicide, the guy gets shot, people are like, what happened? Did he shoot her? Like, what's going on? Like, how did this happen? What led up to this? And then we find out. We find out what led up to it. They thought, who knows what happened. Everybody is freaking out. Like, family ties that were once like this are getting like torn apart. And it's just like this drama, but it's not another level of a book. Like, it's something so completely different. You see different characters' point of views and you just kind of like feel what they're feeling and like get this kind of like eye-opening situation where you kind of see like what situations like this and how stuff like this in life and like unexpected things can really like change people and like how they feel and like such unexpected ending. This book is called Finding Jake. It is by Brian Reardon. This book is about a stay-at-home dad, which is in itself already sort of different than most parent books because stay-at-home dads are not as common. So his dad is a stay-at-home dad. He basically raised the kids, like, shaped them who they are. There's a school shooting, and they don't know who the shooter is, and everybody is accounted for except for Jake. And so now they have to try and find Jake, and everybody's questioning, we don't know who the shooter is, the only person not here is Jake. Like, is Jake the shooter? What's going on? And you kind of see a dad questioning his parenting and looking back at these memories and wondering like where he went wrong, but at the same time holding this belief and like knowing and hoping and like just believing in the fact that he doesn't think his son is this person. He knows who his son is and this is not his son. And it's just really deep and different than anything I've ever read, and it really gives you this like different point of view on certain things, and I really enjoyed reading it. Like I said, it was really different than anything I've ever read, and it really got me thinking, so I would suggest reading it if that sounds interesting to you at all. The next book is called Everything We Lost, and this is by Valerie Geary. I read this in one day. It is very, very good. It's again different than anything I've ever read. It's when I first picked up this book, it was because it sounded like it was going to be something I'm going to enjoy. It sounded like a genre I like. It sounded like a similar storyline type of book to things I normally read, which it was and it is. Sort of, but then when I actually got to read it, I was like, I'm really happy I picked up this book because it really is so different than anything I've read before, and it really brought me like this new kind of theme new content and like such that I've never before read about, and it was really interesting. It's basically about this girl, and when she's a teenager, her older brother goes missing and nobody knows where he is, and they just never find him. And then as a young adult, her father gets married and she moves out of his house and she moves back home to the town where her brother went missing, the town she grew up in, and she starts reconnecting with like her estranged mother, and things are just, she's kind of like falling back into the place she was when her brother went missing, and she kind of has to start coming to terms and recognizing like her brother's disappearance and such stuff like that. It's told between her point of view and her brother's point of view before he went missing, so it is a really interesting kind of perspectives that you get from the characters. The ending frustrates me because it's like something that I just don't handle very well. No, that's not like a trigger warning, that's nothing like that, but just like how it ends is something that frustrates me, which if you read the book you'll understand what I mean. But it's a really good book despite that. Once you like get over that initial like frustration, really, really good. This next book is called You'll Never Know, Dear. It is by Hallie Ephron, and it is just call me Butterfingers. I hate myself. Anyway, so this is called You'll Never Know, Dear by Hallie Ephron. It is very interesting. There's a plot twist in it, so it's your typical mystery book. It's like there's a mystery, they solve it, people find themselves sort of, but it has a plot twist in it, which obviously like adds to the plot line and makes it elevated, I would say. I don't know why I'm like okay, as I was saying, it is about a girl, and her younger sister are playing in the front yard when they're kids, and her sister goes missing, and they never find her, and their mom makes these porcelain dolls that look like the kid that she made the doll for, and she sells them, and so her and her sister both have one, and when her sister goes missing, her sister's doll went missing with her, and one day the doll shows up at their house, and so they're like, yo, it kind of reinstills this like hope and this need and this curiosity and like desire to find her sister and figure out what happened. But basically everything unravels to this like I said, plot twist ending. And I was like, whoa, was not expecting that. So next we have Sycamore. Sycamore is by Bryn Chancellor, and it is another book that is so incredibly well written. It is written in multiple point of views, and it's really, really interesting. You get to see, based on like the multiple point of views, different people and like how this event shaped them, because this story addresses like past and present. So basically it's about this girl, this woman, and she moves to a new town, and while she's moving to the town for personal reasons, which you find out. So she also is kind of like dealing with her own inner turmoil, and when she gets there, she is going on a run, and she ends up discovering the remains of a body, and everybody in the town is suddenly like lighting up like wildfire with gossip, because years before a teenage girl had went missing in the town, they never found her, and everybody is certain this is her body, and they want to know how she got there and what happened and all of that. So all this gossip kind of comes back up from like this like place of not being talked about, and the truth unravels. And it, like I said, is told in multiple point of views. It's told with memories from the past and like conversations in the present. So you really do kind of get like an idea of what happened and who knew what, and then kind of like I said, the truth, and how, like I said, it kind of shaped the people in that town. And it was really good. Like I said, I really enjoyed reading it, and recommend it. So yeah. This next book I'm pretty certain you've at least heard of. It is by Jojo Moyes, I'm not really sure how to say her last name, and it is Me Before You. This is also a movie, so if it sounds familiar but you don't read, so you may know it from that. This book is so different than anything I've read. It is a love story, but it is so far from your typical love story. It's humorous. It's like a rom-com, but then like not your typical rom-com. It's just, it's its own thing. It's its own entity. I don't even know if that's the right word, but it's incredible. I highly suggest this book. It's, like I said, it's funny, it makes you laugh, it makes you want to cry, and it's just like deep but then like light and fun, but like soulful. It's just everything you want it to be and more. The girl in this book has to contribute to her family. The only job that she can get, like that she's qualified for, I guess, is being a PSW for a paralyzed man. And the man she's being a PSW for is really rich, and he just is miserable. And he's young, and he should be at the peak of his life, but he got in an accident and now he's paralyzed. So he's just kind of miserable, and she's such like a happy, bubbly girl. She kind of makes it her mission to make him like live life to the fullest, essentially, despite his his condition. So they, like I said, it's a little love story, so you can guess what happens, but the ending is so far from what you expect. The book is just so beautiful and so beautifully written, and like I said, it makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it makes you feel everything, and I can't wait to watch the movie because I know I'm going to bawl my eyes out, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I had to take a break with this book and not read the second one for a while. I think like I read this like last year because I was really frustrated with the ending. So I was like, I'm not reading the next book because But then, obviously, I'm reading the second book. Anyway, read it. Read it because you will not regret it. Well, you just read it. Just read it. It is so good. This book is also by Jodi Picoult. It is called Change of Heart. It is a bit of a lengthy book. It's not too bad. It's only like close to 500 pages, so it's not that big. It just looks really big, but it wow. This book I read probably when I was like 13, so like I was pretty young when I read this book, and it's eye-opening. It is told by multiple point of views. It touches on religion and like the death penalty and just like different subjects that are kind of like, and you get all these different perspectives from different people who start off with these different like ideas and values, and it's really eye-opening and like educational, sort of like you gain knowledge from it. You kind of like my mindset, like you broadened from it. Like I'm able to grow my opinion and my like my opinions because I read this book. But essentially it is about a little girl and her stepdad, and they both die. They both get shot, and the guy who is convicted of shooting them is a guy who was working on their house, and he gets given the death penalty. He's on death row, and there's another little girl in the story who needs a heart transplant or she'll die, and because he is being on the death penalty, he wants to donate his heart to her. And then there's a priest in this book who kind of deals with the whole situation and like talks to the guy on like death row, and he kind of starts to like question like his religion and everything he knows and like such, and it's just really eye-opening and kind of like broadens your perspective, like I said, and it is so amazing, and the ending hurts you, but it is so good at the same time. Like I haven't read this in a while. I've read it twice already, but I want to read it again just because, like I said, it is so powerful and just an incredible book. And Jodi Picoult, this is the first book I read from her, and this is why I love her books so much. You're always questioning when you read her books and learning and growing your knowledge, and they're, like I said, I think that's why they're so powerful, because they really make you think, and that's what I want out of a book. I want a story I'm invested in, but like something that also makes me think. But yeah, this book, incredible. Check it out. Okay. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you are interested in any of these books or thought any of them were interesting or have read them or going to read them, any of that, let me know, because I'd really love to see how many of you actually have read these books or want to read these books next. Otherwise, I'd love it if you guys could leave me book recommendations. I love to read. I'd love to read something new. So I really appreciate if you left me some recommendations down below. In the future, I would like to make more book-related videos. If that's something you're interested in, then, you know, click the subscribe button, stick around. But also, I want to make more specified book recommendation videos, book review videos. So, different like themes, different genres, like specified ones. So let me know what genres or themes you'd be interested in for that kind of book recommendation videos, and I will try to make videos based on what you guys leave in the comments. Otherwise, you guys know the drill. That's all for now, and I will see you all next week. Peace out.